Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Deuteronomy. Today we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 9, verses 4 through 6. Now remember, we're in the middle of that section of Deuteronomy in which Moses is preparing the people to cross over the river Jordan and to possess the promised land. Now the verses we're looking at today, Moses is going to remind them to be humble. To not make the mistake of thinking that God is doing all of this for them because they are so righteous. But it's all by the grace of God. All they are receiving is purely by the grace of God. Not because they're better than other peoples or more righteous or have earned this. No. It's all by the grace of God. And they must keep themselves humble before the Lord. Now let's look at what Moses says. Deuteronomy 9, verses 4 through 6. After the Lord your God has driven them out before you, that is the Canaanites, after he has driven them out before you and you've come into possession of the land, do not say to yourself, the Lord has brought me here to take possession of this land because of my righteousness. No, it is on account of the wickedness of these nations that the Lord is going to drive them out before you. It is not because of your righteousness or your integrity that you're going in to take possession of the land, but it is on account of the wickedness of those nations. The Lord your God will drive them out before you in order to accomplish what he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob. Understand then that it is not because of your righteousness that the Lord your God is giving you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. And God says two things here. He's not given the promised land to the Israelites because they are more righteous than others. It's not because they have earned it somehow. Oh no, rather he is punishing the wickedness of the Canaanites. Their sin has reached its limit. Judgment must fall. And he's given it to the Israelites purely by grace. He said, I promised your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, that their descendants would inherit this land. I am fulfilling my promise. Everything God gives is all based on his promise, his faithfulness, his love. It's not that we've earned it or deserve it or merit it somehow. It's all by grace. As a matter of fact, he says to the Israelite people, you're a rather stiff-necked people, as you well know, and as you've demonstrated quite amply these last 40 years in the wilderness. Everything I'm doing for you is by grace. So, worship me, honor me, be humble before me. It's not that you merit any of this. It's not that you've earned any of it. It is all by grace. I am doing it for you because I'm preparing you as a people to bring salvation to the whole world. Now we know when we look at the whole biblical story, it's all about salvation by grace through faith. And God prepared the Israelite people as his chosen people that through them he might send his son who would redeem all humanity. And it's always been and always will be by grace received through faith. And so the Israelites are reminded of this as they prepare to enter the promised land. Don't think more highly of yourself than you ought to think, as if you earned all of this I'm doing for you. Oh no, it's all by grace. So go in as the humble people of God, trusting in me, trusting in my righteousness, not your own. For everything I give you, your salvation and this promised land is all by the grace of God. And we should keep the same thing in our mind. Everything we've received from his hand, our salvation, our redemption, all this life of faith is all by the grace of God. Not because we earned it or are worthy of it or deserve it. We are not. Unworthy as we are, we're saved by grace. So let us be humble and believe in Jesus, worship him, and give ourselves to him, for he has saved us all by his grace. Amen and amen. Hope you join us tomorrow as we continue our 5-minute Bible study in the book of Deuteronomy.